Hi guys, down here at a really popular local mark. I've just been over to the inland sea, the back wall with Mr. Parry, Anglesey tight lines. Little session on lows, nothing for me. We both had a little wrasse on scratching rods. The chap down there had a 55cm bass on lows, the wanker. But yeah, I've just never got on with lows, so after seeing his bass, I was desperate to get one. So I've just stopped off at somewhere that I know I usually get one. And again, it's my favourite method of catching bass. Really light setup. I've got a 10-foot spinning rod. I think it's a 3,000 or 4,000 size pen reel loaded with braid. A little pike bung and size 4 hooks, and just gonna see what I can get. I don't know if you can hear it if my camera's picking it up, but there's so many bass jumping, or fish jumping. I think there's mullet and potentially sea trout in and amongst all that. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted by it. The splashes coming from everywhere. So hopefully that's a good sign. I've had bass in the day and at night, but the bigger the bass that I've caught on or using this method, live prawn, have always been at night. So yeah, won't mind catching a bass, and yeah, I'll bring you back. So the setup, just a small reel to a 4.5-inch plastic float. On the business end, there is a, I don't know if you can see it, prawn, just nick hooked through the back, and I'm going to cast it out into where the splashes are. Let's see if we can get one. I can't cast it too far because I can't see the float, and I'm not a fan of these massive fucking luminous things that people use. I think if you can hear them splashes, I think a lot of these fish are schoolies, if they are bass, which I think they are. They're not making massive splashes in there. Those of you that know this mark, the rush is heading towards the, what I'd say, the Ross Niger side. Personally, I've always found it more productive on the side opposite to whichever way the water's running. Others have said in the rush, I've caught them in the rush, but I'd say the more of the fish that I've caught here have been on the, say, the calmer side. But obviously that means that your line is being pulled under the bridge, so you're constantly having to keep your line tight, constantly having to recast. A bit of a tangle there on the float. So this mark's no secret really. I'm not going to say the mark, but it's quite a distinctive one. I'd love to get a take on camera. Which so there's a bit of drag, because even these schoolies, as soon as they hit it and they realise they've got a hook in the mouth, they take off like fucking rockets. The car going past might give away where I am. It's really hard to keep a tight line, keep connected to the float when it's constantly moving. I don't want to put any movement on it. I want the prawn to look as natural as possible, or as natural as it can look, with a fucking hook through its back. Ooh. Just seen a flash of silver not far from my float, but my float's going into a dark patch now and I won't be able to see it, so it needs to hurry up and fucking take it. Come on, just one bass. I really do hope that this is picking up the noise of the fish jumping in the background, the ones that are just teasing me. One's just almost landed on my fucking float. I have to give that a recast because it nearly ended up underneath the rush. I can just about see that. And if you heard that splash then, that's just wobbled my float, it was that close to. I couldn't really show the process of getting the prawns because I'm using the camera on my phone, and obviously I need both hands to use a net. I will show you the net that I use. It's a net that I made myself out of some garden planter style net from Sturmat, and an old tripod, an old fishing tripod, and a shitload of electrical tape and cable ties. It does the job perfectly. Literally just push it through the seaweed, and the prawns are in absolute abundance this time of year. They're not massive, they're not of edible size yet, but I'm looking forward to when they are. But they're a decent enough size. And if you can't get any decent sized prawns, you can always put two prawns back to back. Some of the better bass I've had have been on two small prawns back to back. I guess they cause a lot more commotion in the water, they're a lot more visible to the bass. It's like 2 in the morning now, I'm shattered, but I want a bass. I'll probably give it half an hour here. I have got crab, and I've got ragworm, but it's not a venue that you'd Oh, again, it's not a venue I've ever had any luck using bottom baits here. It usually just gets mauled by crabs in seconds. Oh my god, that nearly landed on my float. Come on, surely you can fucking see that. Come on. They're literally jumping on my float. I change the prawn every couple of casts just so that it's as lively as it can be and as natural looking as it can be. Oh god, you fish are taking the piss. Just about to go under the rush. Well, it doesn't help when the prawn's wrapped around the float, so it just rectified itself. My float slide has come up. So probably fishing that 2.5, 3 feet under the float, maximum that. I have got it adjustable, so you can try different depths, see which they're taking at. Sometimes just adjusting it a few inches can make a massive difference. But these seem to be pushing whatever they're feeding on. Probably prawns maybe up to the surface. So I'm thinking top of the water column would be a good place to start. If they're not taking towards the top, I'll move it down to maybe 4 foot. See if that makes any difference. I'll change the prawn after this cast as well, I think. Sometimes when you've got a really lively prawn, you can see it actually moving your float. That's how you want it. Only slightly, obviously, it doesn't pull it far, but you can see it twitching. Obviously, the livelier the prawn, the more chance you've got at a nice fish taking it. Oh, so much done with your favourites taking the prawn. Stick a new one on, I'll be back. Let's give it another try. The fact I can hear them jumping is just torture. They've got to be bass then. They've got to be bass. They're not coming clean out the water, they're chasing something, they're pushing something to the top. There's a lot of sand smelting here, so I don't know if they're rounding them up or Quite an awkward place to film. I really hope that it's that you can hear the commotion that's going on out there. I very much doubt it, to be fair, on this phone. I'm going to try it over there. That's where the majority of the splashes are coming from. I can just about see my float. Oh, yes! That's a fish. Doesn't look a big one, but I'm using a 8-pound leader hook length. So what I'm having to do is just walk the rod down, just down the wall, beach the fish. He is down there somewhere. He tried taking me under the rush. I very nearly won. So I'm just going to beach him on there, and then we'll walk around and see what we've got. Feels a bit bigger than a schoolie, to be honest. Like I said, they're deceiving fish. Very deceiving fish. You can think you've hooked into a little one, and right, he's on there. Let's go and have a look what we've got. Free t-shirt. There's my float. Oh, he's a beaut. That's a nice fish. That's a lovely bass. He's got to be 50. Get him measured. literally jumping everywhere. Landed 2, lost 4, 5. You can probably hear them in the background jumping. I keep recasting because the float's going towards the rush. As I concentrate so hard to see the actual float, my eyes are fucking shite. Keep that line tight because as soon as you take it, you have to give it a little stroke. Just set the hook. They're jumping everywhere on my float. Literally one just nearly landed on my float. not turning the camera off. As soon as I turn it off, I'll get a fish. There we go. Schooly this one. Might be able to bring him up the wall. Oh, he's got some fight in him though. I'll bring you back once I've landed him. That's the two I'm taking home with me. Both 50, 51 I think. 52, 51 or something. I'll measure them properly when I get home. Really lovely healthy fish then. I don't know, that's just out into darkness, but you can hear the fish. There you go. My camera on my phone's not the best. I'll put a bit of light on. The light honestly doesn't seem to deter the fish whatsoever, which is unusual, but I guess there's massive street lights there. So I guess my head torch, there we go, there as well. Yeah, and anyone will pretty much know where I am now. It's quite a popular mark. Great fun on light gear. Just a spinning rod, a little Pen 3000 Black Rock 10 foot I think it is, and just some prawns in there. Yeah, come give it a go.